Let me ask you something honest. You wake up in the morning, your alarm goes off, and before you even sit up in bed, you already feel it. That low, dull weight sitting somewhere in your chest. Not exactly sadness, not exactly stress, just this constant hum of something. Like your body is already exhausted before the day has even started. You have assignments due. You have exams coming. You have people expecting things from you. And yet somehow, the hardest thing in the world right now is just getting up and starting. You tell yourself it's laziness. You tell yourself you just need more motivation. Maybe you even blame your phone, your sleep schedule, your diet. But here's what nobody is telling you. And I mean nobody in your school, your university, your family. The real reason you feel this way has nothing to do with laziness. It has everything to do with your nervous system. And once you understand that, everything changes. Think about the last time you sat down to study and just could not focus. You read the same paragraph 4 times. Your leg was bouncing. Your mind kept jumping to random thoughts. Maybe your heart felt slightly fast, or your jaw was tight without you even realizing it. You probably told yourself to just concentrate harder. You pushed through or gave up entirely. That is not a focus problem. That is a nervous system stuck in survival mode. Here is what is actually happening inside your body. Students today are living in a state of chronic low-grade stress. Research from the American Psychological Association consistently shows that students report some of the highest stress levels of any group in society. And when stress becomes constant, your nervous system stops being able to tell the difference between a tiger chasing you and a deadline approaching. It treats both the same way. Your body releases cortisol. Your heart rate increases slightly. Blood flows away from your prefrontal cortex, the thinking, reasoning, planning part of your brain, and goes toward your survival systems. And then you sit down to study, wondering why nothing is going in. You were never lazy. Your nervous system was just trying to protect you. Here's the good news, and I need you to really hear this. Your nervous system is not broken. It is not a permanent condition. It is a system, and like any system, it can be regulated. It can be trained. And the tool that makes the biggest difference is something researchers call a nervous system check-in. This is not meditation. This is not another wellness trend. This is a practical, evidence-based habit that takes less than 5 minutes and has been shown in clinical research to lower cortisol, improve focus, increase emotional regulation, and actually help information move from your short-term memory into long-term storage. By the end of this video, you are going to have a real system, a simple daily practice that fits into your student life. And I promise you, if you take this seriously, the version of you 3 weeks from now is going to feel like a completely different person. Let's start with the psychology, because you deserve to understand the why before the how. Your nervous system has 2 main states. The first is sympathetic activation, commonly known as fight or flight. This is your stress response. It is designed for short bursts of danger. The second is parasympathetic activation, rest and digest. This is your recovery state. This is where healing happens, where memory consolidates, where creative thinking occurs. The problem is that modern student life keeps you locked in sympathetic mode almost permanently. Notifications, deadlines, social comparison, financial pressure, fear of failure, all of it stacks up. And your body has no idea how to come back down. Dr. Stephen Porges, a neuroscientist at Indiana University, developed what is called polyvagal theory. His research showed that the vagus nerve, a long nerve running from your brainstem down through your heart and gut, is essentially the remote control for your stress response. And the incredible thing his research revealed is that you can manually activate your parasympathetic state. You can actually signal safety to your own nervous system through specific, simple actions. This is not a theory anymore. This is biology. And students who learn to use it have a measurable advantage over those who do not. So here is the system. 3 daily check-ins: morning, midday, and evening. Each one takes 2 to 5 minutes. Each one is built on real neuroscience. The morning check-in happens before you look at your phone. I know that sounds impossible, but stay with me. The moment you open your phone first thing in the morning, you are feeding your nervous system information it needs to categorize as threat or safe. And the algorithm is designed to show you stimulating content. Your cortisol, which naturally peaks in the first 30 minutes after waking, researchers call this the cortisol awakening response, spikes even higher when you immediately flood your brain with social media or news. What you do instead is this. Before you pick up your phone, sit up. Put both feet flat on the floor. Take 3 slow breaths where the exhale is longer than the inhale. Breathe in for 4 counts. Out for 6. This specific breathing pattern activates the vagus nerve and begins shifting you toward parasympathetic state. Research from Stanford neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman has confirmed that the extended exhale is one of the fastest ways to calm the nervous system. Then you ask yourself 3 honest questions. Where do I feel tension in my body right now? What emotion is sitting with me this morning? And what is one thing I can do today that actually matters? That last question is important. Most students start their day in reactive mode, bouncing between tasks based on urgency and anxiety. When you anchor your morning to intentional awareness, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. You make better decisions. You feel less overwhelmed. 5 minutes. Every morning, before the phone. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is a decision you make before you feel like it. The midday check-in is where most students completely fall apart, and they do not even realize it. Around 1 to 3 in the afternoon, your body naturally experiences a dip in alertness. This is tied to your circadian rhythm and is well documented in sleep science research. Most students respond to this dip by consuming caffeine, scrolling their phone, or pushing through with sheer willpower. All 3 of those responses amplify your stress response and delay your body's natural recovery. What you do instead is take a 5-minute break, a real one. Step away from your desk. Go somewhere with natural light if possible. Research from the University of Michigan showed that even brief exposure to natural environments reduces cortisol and restores directed attention capacity. During this break, do a body scan. Start at the top of your head and slowly notice each part of your body moving downward. Are your shoulders up near your ears? Is your jaw clenched? Are you holding your breath? Most of the time, students discover they have been carrying significant physical tension for hours without noticing. When you notice it, you release it. Roll your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Take 2 slow breaths. This simple act of awareness interrupts the stress cycle and allows your nervous system to reset. There's a study published in the journal Frontiers in Human Neuroscience that found students who took short, intentional breaks during study sessions retained significantly more information than students who studied for longer, uninterrupted periods. Your brain is not a machine. It needs cycling, not grinding. Your body keeps the score. That is not just a book title. That is your lived reality every single day. The evening check-in is the one that most changes your sleep, your mood, and your capacity to show up the next day. And most students are completely skipping it. Here is what typically happens. You finish studying, or you give up trying, and you immediately switch to your phone or a show. You stay up too late. Your mind is still running when you try to sleep. You wake up already behind. The evening check-in takes place 30 minutes before you want to sleep. You put your phone on the other side of the room, physically out of reach. Then, you do something that feels almost too simple to work. You write down 3 things that happened today, without judgment. Not a gratitude list. Not positive thinking. Just honest observation of your day. Research from Dr. James Pennebaker at the University of Texas at Austin showed that expressive writing, even brief, honest journaling, significantly reduces psychological distress and improves immune function. The act of converting your experience into language helps your left brain process what your right brain has been storing as emotional residue throughout the day. Then, you do one final breathing exercise, box breathing, which is used by Navy SEALs and endorsed by clinical psychologists for nervous system regulation. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold for 4. Repeat 4 times. This brings your heart rate variability into a coherent pattern, which is associated with better sleep quality, better emotional regulation, and lower overall anxiety. Here is the mindset shift that ties all of this together, and I want you to sit with this for a moment. Most students have been taught that pushing harder is always the answer. Study more, sleep less, sacrifice more. And when they burn out, they think it is their fault. They think they are weak, but neuroscience tells a completely different story. Recovery is not the opposite of performance. Recovery is part of performance. The students who consistently perform at the highest level are not the ones who grind the hardest. They are the ones who have learned to manage their internal state with the same intentionality they bring to their external work. Your nervous system is the foundation everything else is built on. Your focus, your memory, your creativity, your resilience, all of it depends on whether your nervous system feels safe enough to function at full capacity. When you start treating nervous system regulation as a non-negotiable part of your student life, everything else begins to shift. Your study sessions become more productive. Your anxiety becomes more manageable. Your sleep improves. Your relationships improve. You stop feeling like you are constantly behind.